But for now, we will go to the Western Hotline, and we are joined by Sal Capaccio here on a Football Monday. Sal, how was your weekend?
It was good. Obviously tried to just get away a little bit, I guess,
Yep.
after that Thursday night game and, everything kind of a compact schedule. Was not a good weekend on Saturday when Syracuse lost by one of the worst scores ever in school history.
I wasn't going to bring it up. I'm sorry.
To Notre Dame. That's okay. It's okay. I mean, they're not good this year, and Notre Dame is good, but that was pretty embarrassing, actually. I've never seen 21 points scored without an offensive snap.
Yeah, no.
I think that was unbelievable. And then yesterday, took my son Max and my wife Yana, but my son Max to his first ever NBA game. Went to Toronto and saw the Nets play the Raptors last night.
There we go.
There you go.
It's a full weekend. Again, I was not going to bring up the Syracuse thing.
And Sal did even also have time to swing by here, drop something off, because Joe Kelly and I saw him on the way out.
There we go.
I was there on Saturday. That's right. I was there on Saturday. I was dropping some stuff off. We did the Matt Bove and I did the Always Game Day in Buffalo podcast out at Batavia Downs last week. It was really good. And then we had I had some things from there I had to bring back to the station. I saw you guys coming out. I'm like, oh yeah, Sports Talk Saturday. That's right.
Yep. And it turned into, how's the show? No, it was a show that happened.
It was a show.
It was a show that happened. People are a little antsy in their pantsy, and I get it.
I'm sure, I think it's all intertwined, right? So Friday, I did the reaction show to Thursday night on the Extra Point Show, and then Saturday, you guys did that show, and I'm sure a lot was very similar because people were still fresh in people's minds. Here we are on a Monday, attention starting to shift back towards, what's ahead instead of what's behind. But I think that loss on Thursday just really lingers in everybody's minds, and who this team really is, or what they are this year, and a lot of questions about where they should be, where they are, and including the fact that right now the Buffalo Bills are the 7th of 7 AFC playoff teams, and the teams right behind them are the Steelers. If the Bills were to drop this, they would be even with the Steelers, and the Steelers would obviously have head-to-head, and the Texans. The Bills are one game ahead of them, and they've already beaten the Bills. So this is a pretty monster game this week.
Yeah, absolutely, Sal. And looking at Week 12, we still have one more game tonight, but it's on the NFC side of things. Ultimately, though, for the AFC side of things, pretty much everything didn't go the Bills' way. Kansas City wins, New England wins, Baltimore wins, New England wins. It's just, it hasn't gone the way the Bills wanted. And like you said, now they're at the 7th seed, and they'd be going to at Denver. Not the greatest offense in the world. I said it right before he came on. I don't really even know if Bo Nix is any good. But that defense sure is, and that has been the key problem for the Bills this year is they cannot handle pass rushes very well, and Denver might have the best in football.
Yeah, they might, and we'll see. I mean, maybe the Bills play Denver in the playoffs, but right now I think it's about getting in the playoffs, and you worry about that when you play them. They play the Steelers this week, and that's also a good pass rush. The Steelers are, I looked today, 12th in the NFL in sacks per pass attempt, but we know they have a couple of really good edge guys. I don't think they're quite the overall defense that the Texans were. It was incredible to watch that defense, up close. The Steelers, they've given up some big run games. What's weird? If there's ever more of a example of a week-to-week league, the Steelers back in mid-October gave up over 7 yards a carry to the Bengals, and then they go against Jonathan Taylor and give up less than 2 yards a carry. I mean,
it's incredible.
It's just crazy. So I think the Bills have to go to Pittsburgh and run the ball and, lean back on that because that's been most of their success and strength. And I think what we saw on Thursday night is if they get in situations where they have to pass, teams just aren't respecting their pass catchers enough and coming after their quarterback, and that's just not a good recipe for the Buffalo Bills.
Sal, when it comes down to it, though, when we're looking at potential playoff implications, everything like that, when it comes to facing the Steelers as well, there's another wrinkle in this that turns it into all the more heightened importance, and that is conference record tiebreakers. Mm-hmm. A loss to the Steelers here would give you number 4, and that is not a good sign considering that most of the other teams are looking at 2 losses in conference right now. The only other team that's in playoff contention with 4 conference losses is Kansas City. So if you put yourself behind in tiebreakers, because, I don't want to go ahead and say that the division dream is all but over, but, in a realistic sense, you're probably trying to gun for the best seed that you can in the wild card.
Yeah, it's a weird-looking standings right now with New England, Denver, Indy, and Baltimore actually at the top, and then Chargers, Jaguars, Bills, and the Chiefs on the outside looking in right now. You could make an argument that it might be better to be a 5 or 6 this year than it is to be a division winner, 2, 3, or 4 because of the teams you might face. But that said, you get 5 or 6, you're going on the road. That now, I think I look at the teams here, and the teams you brought up are interesting because it would come down to head-to-head against Pittsburgh, against Houston, against Kansas City, against Baltimore. The Bills have beaten Baltimore. They've beaten Kansas City. They didn't beat Houston, and we'll see against Pittsburgh. We don't know against the Chargers in Jacksonville, right? These are the teams you're fighting with as well, to your point, though, Derek, which is if it comes down to Chargers or Jags and Bills, those conference games are going to matter. Those conference records are going to matter. Right now, the Chargers are 6-2 in the conference. The Jags are 4-2, and the Bills are 4-3. If it's also a 3-way tie between the Bills, a team they've beaten, and another team, you have to start thinking about conference records. So, yeah, I think it's the next few games are really important. It's not just this game, by the way. The Bills go against the Steelers this week. Then after that, they get the Bengals at home. Then they go to the Patriots. Then they the Browns. You have 4 AFC games. They just played one. They're already 0-1 in this stretch of 5 AFC games. And then obviously the Patriots game in a few weeks could loom large if the Patriots drop one here between now and then. But guys, think about this. The Bengals play Thursday night. Then they have 10 days to get ready for the Bills. And then when the Bills play the Patriots, they'll be coming off a bye week and 13 days rested because they play Monday night the week before that. So the schedule isn't doing the Bills any favors this year.
No, and even you bring up the Bengals too. Burrow doesn't play yesterday, but he's probably I don't want to say definitely, but probably going to be at least playing by the time the Bills roll around. Might not play on Thanksgiving just because of the quick turnaround here, but you're going to get him. You've got the Steelers. There's a good chance that they'll have Rodgers back. He almost played this weekend instead it was Mason Rudolph. And then like you mentioned too, like you're going to get the Patriots off a bye week. And this maybe is just because of how poor the performance was on Thursday night against Houston. But, Sal, now I start to not look at any team as a for sure win. Any team that maybe has a particularly good quarterback or a good wide receiver, a solid run game, I start to get very leery about all of it. It even points to like a game like Cleveland, who, I mean, they really don't have much of an offensive identity at all. But that defense, Myles Garrett, might be going for the all-time sack record in a season. And that's been something that really just derails any kind of game plan for the Bills offense. So now I start to look at these next 4 games and I wonder, absolutely they could go on a run. Is this the team? Is this the year, though, that these Bills are actually able to go on that kind of run?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, do they have the ability? Sure they do, because they have the quarterback, and we know that, and anything can happen when it comes to that. And the fact that everyone's kind of the same, right? You have teams with better records, but a lot of these teams are teams that you say they could beat any team on any day. They could also lose to any team on any day. I mean, I know it's been since very early in the season, but the Patriots did lose to the Raiders and Steelers, right?
You're right.
Look at the Broncos. I mean, their offense is like they've had games where they've done nothing for 3 quarters, and then they showed up at the very end and wound up winning. Look at the Colts, what's happening. The Chiefs, I mean, yesterday they did the thing that we are used to seeing the Chiefs do, which is come back and win at the end, but they made their share of mistakes, and that's the reason why they had to do that at the end. So no doubt about it. And when you think about the Bills and their upcoming schedule, I think one of the biggest issues is they've just been bad on the road.
Yeah.
They have not played well on the road. And that's got to change this week when they go to Pittsburgh, because when you look at the Bills on the road this year, they go to the Jets, they take care of business. After that, they went to the Falcons and lose in primetime. They took care of business against the Panthers. But since then, guys, at Miami, disastrous. At Houston, disastrous. They've been a much different team on the road than they have been at home, where they've only lost 1 game. They have to turn that around. And a big reason is because of the turnovers. They are committing more turnovers on the road. I mean, my theory is that, things are just, they don't have the guys to be able to just make something happen when communication and plays are either coming in late or you have to make checks at the line. And that's causing everything to be sped up and mistakes to happen. And I think that's what's happening. And if you let the Pittsburgh Steelers, if the Steelers shut down their Bills run game, then you're going to have to be in a position where you were last week. And then, they're going to start to get off again against your pass rush. And then you're talking about Cleveland and Myles Garrett. I mean, Deion Dawkins has said repeatedly, the toughest guy he ever has to block is Myles Garrett. I mean, then we know how good he is. Right? I mean, is Trey Hendrickson playing for the Bengals by then? And by the way, their defense is playing a lot better now. It was terrible early in the year. And it's still not very good, but it's playing better now. They did a nice job yesterday for the most part on the Patriots. Still lost that game. So, there's some big challenges coming up here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sal, you're bringing up the turnovers. The last 3 games, the Bills have had 3 turnovers, 9 total, and they have just they've gone from a team like last year where just a 1 turnover was stunning, and now the last 3 weeks it's become a regular occurrence of multiple turnovers. They do it in bulk. They do not do anything in half measures when it comes to that stuff. 803-0550, the number to call. We're going to take a quick time out here. Sal will be with us, though, in the next segment as we'll go a little bit more around the league and also, again, previewing Bills and Steelers as the week gets underway here. The Bills did lose to the Houston Texans 23-19 on Thursday Night Football, so it's a little bit of a weirder, little less normal Football Monday, but still Football Monday nonetheless. Again, 803-0550, the number to call. You're listening to WGR.